If you're having problems with your rear window defroster this winter, it is very likely that it's being caused by this guy right here. This cable comes detached very easily, and in this video I'm going to show you two different ways in which you can reattach the cable in order to get this back up and running. If you find this video useful, please make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. We're really trying to get to 500 subscribers. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I've owned Jeeps for about 20 years. Right now, this is my third Wrangler, and prior to that, I owned a couple of Jeep Liberties. One of the things that I pretty much have had an issue with every Wrangler that I've had is this cable. Again, as you're coming and going, opening your gate, your tailgate, this cable just tends to come detached, and it is very likely to happen if you own your Jeep for a few years. So again, what I'm going to show you in this video are two different ways in which you can reattach this cable. The first way to fix this, reattach this cable, is going to be a little bit more of a technical way of doing things. But make sure that you watch till the end of this video, as I'm going to be showing you a second way, which is a lot easier and a lot more expeditious if you want to get a quick fix. The first thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be cleaning this off. Now, a lot of times you're going to notice that you're having an issue with your rear window defroster when you get in the car. Maybe it's a cold morning, your windows are a little bit frosted, you get in, you push the button, and maybe you get a little bit of a blinking light in your dashboard as opposed to your traditional, on light. So that's usually an indicator that there's something wrong with your defroster. So from then on, you can kind of start walking around trying to see if there is an issue with this cable. There's actually two that are running through this window, obviously, in order to create the electricity that's running through these little small conductors. So it could be either this one, which is the more common one. There's another one on the other side as well. So you want to make sure your first step is to inspect those items to see if either one of them comes detached. You can reattach either one the same way. Once you figure out that it is indeed that cable, then what you have to do is make sure that you're going to clean the terminal here, so that you can have a clean surface to reattach into the glass. There's actually a little plate behind this. And so you want to make sure that that is very, very clean so that you can do this. Then the next thing we're going to be doing is, now I set up a little contraction to help me hold this cable kind of close to the plate that I'm going to be soldering to. So the whole purpose of this contraption that you're seeing here is literally just to help me hold the cable close to it. Now, if you have a buddy that can help you out, that's probably going to make it a lot easier. They can just pretty much hold it, and as you're getting the solder ready, they can just push it in there, and you should be good to go. And then the next step, which is a little bit more of the complicated part, is to make sure you start creating a little bit of a, so to speak, a good solid foundation of solder material so that you can attach it to this plate. Now I'm doing that by kind of layering a few layers of soldering material. And then what I'm doing is, once I have enough of a layer in there, then I'm going to go back quickly and kind of melt that metal and immediately attach it into the plate. And usually within a few seconds, once the metal dries up, you're going to be in good shape. You're going to be set for a while. Now, obviously, a lot of times what you're going to have happen is you're soldering, and it may take you, 2 seconds or 3 to reattach it, and by then the metal has already solidified. That's part of the process, and why this is a little bit more complicated than the other way that I'm going to tell you. So again, once you're good to go and have been able to, have that good foundation in there, I'm going to take my solder and very quickly melt all of the metal that I had just laid in there. Now, as soon as the metal melts, I have to immediately push it into the plate so that the two can bond. Again, you're going to know really quickly if it worked or if it didn't work, as it will come immediately right off, or it'll stay in there. So once you're good to go, you're golden. Now, at the beginning of the video, I told you there was going to be two different ways of fixing this problem. The second way is one that I haven't done just yet, but it's a lot easier once I started actually working on this video. And that involves using an epoxy resin that has a lot of metal inside of it, so it can conduce electricity. So I'm going to put a link in the description of this video so you can get that item. But basically, all you have to do is you're going to clean this part as if you're going to solder it, but you're not going to solder. And you're obviously going to melt or bind the two materials together. You have to make sure that you're going to end up with a little putty that looks very much the same color throughout. That means that you're connecting the two different chemicals in there to have that reaction that creates the epoxy. Once you do that, then you have a few minutes, sometimes maybe even a few seconds, to use the putty and put it right in here and then connect the two parts. Now, probably use a very mild clamp to keep the two items together. If it doesn't, or if you don't mind, you can just probably hold it on for like 2 minutes. If you do use a clamp, make sure that you protect your glass with a piece of cloth on top and underneath as well. Then you're going to clamp the items together, and that epoxy is going to then solidify and give you a pretty good bind between the two materials. So once you do that second method, you should be set for a while as well. Now you have two different ways of fixing this. You can go with soldering, or you can just use the epoxy resin. Both of them are going to work. And with that, again, if you found this video to be useful, please make sure to like and subscribe. As I mentioned at the beginning, we're trying to get to 500 subscribers. Thanks again. I'll see you later.